In 2023, I made a list of countries that might introduce digital nomad visas in 2024. On that list was the beautiful country of South Africa. And once again, I have been proven right about the digital nomad visa that South Africa would come to offer. Joining the list of Japan and Italy, South Africa has also introduced its own version of a digital nomad visa. In this video, I'm going to go over what you need to do to acquire this South African digital nomad visa so you can begin your own digital safari. Hello, my name is Tristan, the Yonderpreneur. I help people become sovereign individuals. What does that mean? I help you learn to live a life of geographic and financial freedom. In 2023, I wrote an article about countries that were most likely to introduce digital nomad visas in 2024, and South Africa was on this list. I will link that article in the description below if you want to check it out. So, how did the South African government do on its digital nomad visas? What I mean is, what is it like? What are the requirements? What are the benefits? You can have really good digital nomad visas like Italy's, which was well received and gives you lots of benefits, or it can be like Japan's, which was largely a flop with high income requirements and no benefits. We want to understand, where does South Africa fit on this list? Is it a flop or is it a success? Strangely enough, all the details about the South African digital nomad aren't really released yet, which is odd because the visa itself is released. So you can go get the visa, but the details aren't public. So we are going off what we know right now. But from what I do know about it is that it landed somewhere in between being really good, like Italy, and being really bad, like Japan. It's somewhere right in the middle. So what are the requirements to get the South African digital nomad visa? First thing is, very straightforward. You need a valid passport. Very easy. You should have a passport with at least, a few years of validity left on it. The second thing that you need to have if you want the digital nomad visa for South Africa is that you have to have proof of remote work or proof of employment. The third is that you have to make the required income requirement, which is $56,000 a year. Yes, the average annual income requirement is kind of high when compared to other digital nomad visas that are out there. However, the amount of time that you're allowed to stay in the country really picks up the slack of having it being so expensive. It's kind of cloudy right now how long you can stay in South Africa on the digital nomad visa, but 3 months is the minimum. 3 months is kind of guaranteed, as that's the average maximum stay for a tourist visa for South Africa. It's mentioned in the digital nomad visa that if you stay longer than 6 months, then you have to register as a tax resident, which makes me think that the digital nomad visa is an ongoing renewable visa that you can renew before it expires. So I think it's a continuous renewing visa. And also, it's important to note this is South Africa that we're talking about, where things don't always go as planned and things kind of go with the flow. So even if you do overstay a visa and you have, I don't think your deportation penalties will be overly serious. That's not saying that I think you should overstay visas to live in South Africa. That's not what you should do. But I'm just saying that it's kind of go with the flow in this part of the world. South Africa is very, very much still a developing country. It's probably actually going in the opposite direction, is now de-developing. Terrible government policies have been passed in the last few years. However, we have a new change in government and things might start looking better, but it's still a little too early to tell. With most digital nomad visas around the world, they are usually created to attract skilled individuals into a country, and I think South Africa's aspirations with their visa is exactly the same, to attract more people who can come into the country, produce wealth, contribute to the economy, and pay taxes. If you do the digital nomad visa in South Africa and you love it there and you don't want to leave South Africa and it's what you've always wanted, you will have to become a tax resident once you have been staying for longer than 6 months. And I would consider South Africa a not very tax-friendly country. It is actually very high to pay taxes in South Africa. Assuming you make $56,000 a year, because that's the minimum requirement for the South African digital nomad visa, you would be stuck with paying a 41% income tax bill, which is really high, especially at that low level of income. And given what you get for being in South Africa and being a tax resident, the infrastructure is not very good. The medical is not very good. It's not safe. Crime is actually really bad. So, like, what is this money that I'm paying going towards when everything is not great? So therefore, in my opinion, South Africa probably really isn't worth being your tax home. Probably a great place to visit. I've seen that it's very beautiful, especially there on the coast, but it's not worth it, in my opinion, to be a tax resident of the country. So although the South African digital nomad visa has been announced, it is available, you can go get it. It's almost like they half baked it and then threw it out to the public, so it's not fully complete, although it is complete. So although it is not complete, it does seem to be a renewable visa. So if you enjoy South Africa and you want to stay longer than the average tourist of 3 months, you could spend 5 months in South Africa and not be considered a tax resident. If you want to continue living there, spend the 6 months, you can renew your visa if you really love it there, of course. But in my opinion, 5 months a year would be a really nice visit. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you live in South Africa and you just want to tell us about the digital nomad visas, what the digital nomad community in South Africa is, if you know anything about that, drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear about that. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.